What's going on, everyone? My name is Player Zero. Our Zigzagoon run was fun, but brutal at the end. Today's challenge is going to hopefully be easier. We're going to figure out if I can beat Pokemon Crystal with only a Girafarig. Girafarig is certainly stronger than Zigzagoon, but is very mediocre compared to most fully evolved Pokemon. 90 special attack is decent and 80 attack is okay. 85 speed is pretty good. Where Girafarig suffers is in its defensive stats. 70 HP and 65 in both defense and special defense. By level up we learn some decent moves, but Confusion will be our only Psychic type move until 41 when we learn Psybeam. Crunch will be good for opposing Psychic types, and in this gem, Dark plays off our special attack, which is our higher stat. By TM we have some decent type coverage. Thunderbolt will be absolutely necessary late game, and Psychic will be as well, as will Return. I think our type coverage is good enough to pull this off. Let's go over the rules. Can only use Girafarig in battle. Can use other Pokemon as HM users but can't battle. No items in battle, held items are fine. No glitches or exploits. Before we begin, give this video a like, maybe consider subscribing and share this video. Let's begin. I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Cyndaquil with Girafarig. This means our rival will have Feraligatr. I picked this because it learns Bite, the only super effective move it has on us out of all the starters. So because our base stats are much higher than Totodile's, the first rival fight was extremely easy, so nothing interesting here. I go through Bellsprout Tower for experience, and next is the Flying Gym Falconer. Pidgey was a one-shot with Stomp, and we do most of Pidgeotto's health and damage, then we get hit with a weak Gust as the next Stomp takes him out. I then head to Azalea to take down Team Rocket in Slowpoke Well, and next is the Bug Gym. Metapod was a one-shot with Stomp, and next is Scyther. We do half his health and damage with Stomp, as Fury Cutter does a bit of damage, but thankfully the next Stomp takes out Scyther. Last is Kakuna, who was a one-shot with Confusion. Next is our battle with our rival. Both Ghastly and Zubat are a one-shot with Confusion. Last is Croconaw. Confusion does almost half, as Water Gun does only a bit of damage. Stomp takes it out on the next turn. We grab the TM for Headbutt, and next is the dreaded Whitney battle. Is what I would have said had it not gone the way I thought it was going to. Clefairy was a one-shot with Headbutt, and next is her Miltank. We outspeed and hit Headbutt 3 times in a row, flinching twice in a row, critting on the last one, taking down Miltank. Honestly, I thought it was going to be a nightmare with Attract and Rollout, but I guess the game threw me a Cubone there. After that, we grab the TM for Return and teach it to Girafarig. It's time for our next rival fight. Haunter goes down to a critical Confusion. Croconaw takes big damage from Return as Bite does little damage and Headbutt takes it out the next turn. Next is Magnemite as Headbutt does big damage and Sonic Boom does 20 fixed damage to us as Return takes down Magnemite. Last is Zubat, which was a one-shot with Confusion. Next is the Ghost Gym Morty, and he was a total pushover as we sweep his entire team with Confusion. Gengar didn't even try to put us to sleep or curse us, but we wouldn't have been in danger regardless. We teach Girafarig the TM Shadow Ball and we move on. The next gym is Chuck, and now that we're level 41 and no Psybeam, it was a no damage sweep. I try a couple times at the Steel Gym, but we just can't get past the Magnemites without getting paralyzed or confused. We gotta level up. We grind up on trainers east of Ecruteak City and we take out Team Rocket hiding under the basement of a shop. After that we try the Ice Gym Price, but his entire team was a one-shot with Return. We retry the Steel Gym and it goes better this time. Both Magnemites go down with Return and out is Steelix. Psybeam does decent damage, but so does Iron Tail. The next Psybeam brings it to red health and Iron Tail brings us to half. As she heals up, a couple Psybeams bring Steelix back to red health and her next Iron Tail misses. The next Psybeam takes down Steelix. Next is our rival fight, but his entire team was just a no damage sweep. Last gym is the Dragon Gym Claire, but once again she was a one-shot sweep with Return. Next is our last required rival fight, but just like the last time, he was a no damage sweep. We take time to train on the last trainers before the Elite Four, and here are our stats. I'm feeling pretty confident that we're going to have an easy time with the Elite Four, and we might have a little trouble with Lance, but we should be fine. Okay, let's do this. First up is the Psychic Elite Four member Will, and he was a no damage sweep as each one of his Pokemon were a one-shot with Shadow Ball. Next is Koga. Ariados goes down with one Psybeam. Fortress takes a third of health with Return as he lays down spikes. Psybeam brings it to red health as Fortress hits a weak Swift and the next Psybeam takes it out. Crobat was a one-shot with Psybeam as was Venomoth and Muck. Next is Bruna, and his entire team was a one-shot with Psybeam. The only damage he managed to do was a weak Mach Punch from Hitmonchan. Next is Karen. Return almost takes out Umbreon as it hits us with a Sand Attack. Return misses and Umbreon then confuses us. Our next Return takes it out. Next is Murkrow. We hit ourselves in confusion as Feint Attack crits, bringing us to red health. We hit ourselves in confusion and Pursuit takes us out. Okay, let's try that again. This time Return does big damage on Umbreon as it hits us with a decent Feint Attack as Return takes it out the next turn. From there, Murkrow was a one-shot with Return, as was Houndoom. Then Vileplume was a one-shot with Psybeam, as was Gengar. Last is Champion Lance. Gyarados was a one-shot with Return, out comes his first illegal Dragonite. Return nearly takes it out as Thunder Wave misses, as Return takes down Dragonite. The second Dragonite comes out and Return nearly takes it out as well, but this time it lands Thunder Wave, paralyzing us. He hits us with Hyper Beam and we get fully paralyzed 2 turns in a row, and he hits another one as Return finally takes it out. Aerodactyl is next and it hits a Hyper Beam, bringing us to red health as we get fully paralyzed twice in a row again, and Wing Attack finishes us off. Second attempt goes much better as both Dragonites were a one-shot with Return. Guess it was a range. Aerodactyl goes down to Iron Tail, Charizard goes down to Return, and last is his last Dragonite as Return does big damage and Hyper Beam takes a chunk out of our health, but the next Return wins us the fight. Now that we're the Pokemon champion, we can do the post game and beat Red, but before that we have to beat all the gym leaders in Kanto. But they're all easy, so we'll just focus on Blue. But before that, I go learn Thunderbolt now that I'm the champion and replace it with Iron Tail. Okay, on to Blue. Pidgeot was a one-shot with Thunderbolt, Alakazam was a one-shot with Shadow Ball, Rhydon was a one-shot with Psychic, Gyarados was a one-shot with Thunderbolt. Exeggutor was nearly a one-shot with Shadow Ball as it lands a Leech Seed. After a couple of Shadow Balls, losing some health to Leech Seed, and Hyper Potions, Exeggutor goes down. Last is Arcanine. Return nearly takes it out, we lose some health to Leech Seed, Arcanine brings us down to nearly quarter health as the next Return takes it out. With that, it's time for Red. We somehow outspeed Pikachu and Return is a one-shot. Espeon is next and we somehow outspeed it as well and crit one-shot it with Shadow Ball. That was lucky. Snorlax is out next and Return does nearly half as he just uses Amnesia. The next Return high rolls as we take it down. Out next is Charizard. Return does a bit over half as he nails us for nearly half our health with Flamethrower. Thunderbolt then takes it out. Next is Blastoise. Thunderbolt does big damage as Surf brings us to red health before the next Thunderbolt takes it down. Last is Venusaur, who was thankfully a one-shot with Psychic. Honestly, I didn't think I'd beat Red at that low level, let alone the first try. That was a lot of fun, and I wanted to do this run partially because I talked smack about Girafarig in one of my shorts and wanted to make up for it with this solo run. Next challenge is going to be Platinum with only a Feebas. That's going to be brutal. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. I'm out.